how does this solar light compare to this solar light, and how does this one compare to, and how do both of those compare to this solar light? That's what I'm going to find out. So in the pool cage we have our first solar lights. Ever Bright is the brand. We got it about 2 years ago from the Home Depot, and they worked very well initially. They were dim, and then they got bright when motion was detected, but they didn't last very long. Next up is these impals. Better design, a lot brighter, a lot more light. Same, except the concept for these was a little different. Instead of dim and bright, these were off dim bright. The third impal is also on the side of the house. It same performance as its neighbor down over there, and the fact that it comes on, it's bright, it comes on for about 15 seconds when it senses motion, and it sees fairly well. It will see something maybe 20 feet away and turn on nice and bright so we can see what we're doing. Because the pool needs some new lighting, I decided to try these InnoGear lights. I like the design better. What we really want in the backyard is a dim light that stays on all the time, and then motion senses, and then it gets bright. Easier to find the dogs at night when they're out running around and they won't come in. So I'll pull off the other lights, do a side-by-side comparison, because they're two totally different designs. InnoGears are replacing these on the cage. This impal is a year old. It just had a switch on off. These Ever Brights, they have a switch on off, so they're kind of rough. 4 LEDs, year and a half, not even 2, they can't be 2. I know I bought these in 2018, so it can't be over 2 years old. I'm just disappointed that this is, solar panels designed to be in the sun. These styles were appealing because you set them up, you mount them, and they're angled. I'm in Florida, it rains a lot, so it appears that water would run off of it. The lights are pointed down at an angle, so they would go down and out, and that's wonderful. But the problem with this is that the sensors are exposed to UV light. Now, how much can it handle? Time will tell. But eventually the sun's going to deteriorate these critters to the point where they go blind, basically. I know in the impals up front, the sensitivity, when I first put them out there, was easy 30 feet. They would kick it on, they'd see motion at 30 feet, kick it on. Now we're talking 15 feet max, probably closer to 10 to 12. So that's kind of disappointing. It's kind of expected. So anyway, those are the factors that made me think that maybe I should go with something that points straight down. You mount this on the wall, and the lights are going to point downwards, and the sensor is pretty much shaded for most of the time. It might get a little bit of sun early morning or late afternoon, depending on which way it faces, but it'll be protected. The panel will be straight up and down, which water runoff might pose a problem. But like I said, in Florida, I don't need much angle. Those might be a little bit extra extreme, but here the sun's really high in the sky most of the year, and it might benefit to get more sun exposure. Also price. This is 25. These are 12 a piece. This is 25 for 4. Okay, $8, 12. I believe these were 28. I think these are maybe $7 a piece. Put a lot more light than these. But a comparison of the actual solar panels, you can see this one's a good anywhere 30 to 50% bigger than this one. about the same number of LEDs. So I'm hoping that it runs all night. So I'm gonna mount them and see what happens. These are 1.5 inch gap in the distance between the mount holes. I don't particularly care for this type of mount because you have to be pretty good with your measuring, not only distance but leveling. There's no leveling afterwards. Once you put these in there, the holes in, especially in metal, you're pretty much done. That's where it's going. And I'm using a dull bit, and this metal is pretty thick. It's an old 20 cage. They made them pretty good back then. And the holes are done. Really need to change out to a fresh bit that's got some teeth on it. All right, and then hopefully these didn't get too crooked with the drilling. Probably about 1/4 to a 1/3 inch of space between the head of the screw and the surface, because you just hang it in there, but you want it snug enough where it won't fall off. Make it a little tighter. Like I said, do not care for this mount myself, although it looks really good when you're done. Well, here's one over the door. I like the way it points straight down. Focus the lighting down low. This one's the same thing. Looks pretty decent, I think. The color is a little bit antique yellow or antique white. It's a little bit more yellowish than white. Another benefit to this flat design in my situation is this is the north side of the pool cage, and on the north side you have the panels on the angle ones facing north. That doesn't help to collect light, so you want it to go back towards the sun, and the angle is much better for collecting light. Okay, to turn them on, there's a little button here. Push and hold for a second. 3 flashes mean it's turned on. Do it again. 2 flashes off. So I'm gonna turn it on. Well, it's pretty much dark, and the lights are on low, nice and dim. There's one right there. I'll walk up, and it gets bright. It's pointing down, pretty directional. The second one, my dog set it off. Down there is on. And also there's that Home Depot one. It actually came on. I don't know how long that's going to last. But these other ones, they stay bright for about 10 seconds after motion is detected. And the light's not as blue as that one, which I actually like. And they don't shine in your face when you're away from them. I like that. I don't like having light shining in my eyes all the time. So let me back up here, and you'll see the 2 pointing down. They're rather dull. They're not in your face like that one is. And there goes a dog setting off the motion sensors. Good morning. This is about 6:30 the next morning, and the lights are still on. They still respond to motion. All of them have a look like they still have a good charge on the batteries, and I'm pretty pleased with them. They point down, and the light's concentrated to about a 15-foot spread. They're 10 feet high in the air, and I have the lights approximately 15 feet apart, and there's no shadows in between the lighting. I really like these lights. They seem to cover the area very well, and I think I may end up getting more of these. Hopefully this helps you if you're on the fence about these lights. I do recommend them. Thank you.